The topics, I've done a lot of videos today, and I'm so sorry if I've overwhelmed, but the topics today have ranged from Suella Braverman to people dying in a submersible boat visiting the death site of so many people in the Titanic. And a lot of fuss has been made, rightly, about these 5 individuals. And I think it's so poignant that 2 of them, the father and son, died together on Father's Day. Incredibly poignant. Shahzada Dawood and Suleiman Dawood. Suleiman was just 19. But then there's Hamish Harding, Stockton Rush, and Paul-Henri Nargeolet, the former French Navy diver. And I think it's quite right that we drew attention to these people, particularly Paul-Henri was an astonishing man, a specialist on the Titanic, somebody who's dived all over the world. But I think while there are 5 people who have died under the most extraordinary circumstances, visiting one of the most extraordinary ships to have been to have floated in the seas, we've got to remember also the 500 people whose bodies have not been recovered, who died off the Peloponnese coast near Kalamata, in an attempt to get to Italy from Libya. And more than 500 people, many of them caught in the hold of the fishing ship by the smugglers who bolted them in. And the impression given, as it's emerging very slowly, but without very much media coverage, is that the Greek Coast Guard held these people there in that ship for 12 hours or more, and sent them food, but did nothing to help them. And then the ship started to sink. Now, I've drawn a parallel between the sinking of that ship and the sinking of the near sinking of another ship on which my partner was a migrant coming from Turkey, and that ship was riddled with bullets by the Greek Coast Guard. And in 23 years, this attitude has not changed, and Suella Braverman, our Home Secretary, I think looks to Greece as an example of how to deal with people seeking refuge and coming to our country by boat. I think there's a conspiracy of silence between the media and our governments, and I think it is slightly shocking as one goes to bed tonight to think that 5 people who have died in an extraordinary and horrifying way in the North Atlantic have commanded column inches, while 500 people who have died in an extraordinary and horrific way in the Mediterranean have largely been forgotten.